Hi, this is Zahdi. It's my third YouTube video that I'm making. For those of you not familiar with me or meeting me for the first time, I'm a longtime psychic and intuitive who lives in Hilo, Hawaii after moving from Washington, D.C. to be closer to really living earth energies that you can find around here. In my last video, I kind of talked about the energies on the East Coast and how I always sort of felt that it was very energetically dead. Not that there's not natural energy over there, because there is, because there's natural energy everywhere. But as far as the consciousnesses that are in the earth, or what we call the gods and the goddesses that live in the earth, there aren't really that are over there. There are a lot that are around here in Hawaii. You don't even have to be particularly sensitive to pick up on some of them. So in this video, I really want to talk more about why I'm here. And that's kind of a tough topic to broach, but ganbate, right? So I really feel like I am not from here. And you hear that a lot in the lightworker community with star seeds and star children and people who come from the stars or who are seeded by off-planet beings. And if you're a star seed and you're looking at me, then you might be like, oh, yeah. But I'm not exactly a star seed. I'm something else that's not really like rooted in the stars. I'm more rooted in the planet. So I feel that I come from the planet, but that my energy is one of these goddess energies that I mentioned, and that's really who I am, and what what is coming through me. But it is like all my memories, my past life memories, go back to this person who was really not human, but she lived definitely in the earth, on the earth, connected to the earth, which was very important. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's definitely one of those things that took a lot of not searching, not like I was searching for like, oh, I wonder, am I a goddess? Or like I was, or that's what am in this life. It wasn't like that. It was more I connected with other people who had had past lives, and we kind of had some similar past lives going on. And some of those lives were started to say like, oh, that doesn't look like anything that we see around here now. But we'd separately be seeing these things that like correlate, which is really bizarre and really fun when it happens, when you see this thing in your head, this memory, and you see it over and over and over, and it just feels so real and so like you're there. You can feel, you can touch, you can taste, you can hear, you can think about what you were thinking then. And it's like, especially when it's just a repeating image over and over and over, that is so powerful. But when you're first searching, you're first seeking, a lot of people don't really see anything like deep. They just see like an image, a flash, an instant that's just like, and then that's all. And they're like, I saw this thing and I have no way to explain it. So for basically the last, well, long time, I've been seeing, like, I've seen these flashes, these images, and it's like, oh, I'm transported back into some other time. And I'm like, okay, I don't think this is a dream or imagination because it's so visceral and real, and it feels like there's other history and story around this image. It just feels like that, like in my heart or something. So I would like keep thinking about the images and they would keep coming to me, and my guides that I talk to when I do readings and everything, like psychic readings, they would kind of encourage me not to forget, like you have to remember, there's something you're forgetting, there's something you have to remember, just like over and over and over, kind of persistent. You have to remember this thing. Who are you really? Where do you really come from? You have to remember something that you forgot. And so that's been really persistent. And finally, a couple of years ago, when I was talking with all these different people and we were comparing past life memories together, I went as far back as I could. And I just said, look, I just want to know, like, where did this begin? And what I saw was just like light and shining. And it was like I saw this being, and she was a she, and she was a consciousness, and she had a will and everything. So it wasn't like, just like a spirit or something. She was big. She was really big, and she was covered in like starlight, or she was kind of made of starlight. She was kind of see-through and made of starlight, and she was just very big and wise and very calm and very connected. So she was very connected to kind of the all that is. So like the divine energy, which I don't know, like you tap into when you pray, or when you're like, I tend to tap into it if I'm doing a reading for somebody. It just like that energy kind of like comes through me, and then my face seems a little bit brighter sometimes, or that sort of thing. So she was very connected to just the all that is, and just that knowledge that comes from the source that says everything has a purpose and everything's here for a reason, and everything happens for a reason, and it's okay to just exist and to live within your purpose and to interact with people and other beings. And it wasn't just her. There were a lot. She had others like her. There were like 6 others like her, and in this particular memory. And then they had counterparts that were like gods, like males. So there's like this polarity, energy, and they all existed. Yeah. It's kind of sad thinking about it, because it's just very like, because so many things happened afterwards, and I guess that's really why they want me to talk about this now, because the world used to be so full of light and so full of peace and calm, and human beings were so holy, and we still are, right? We're still like super holy and super divine, but we've forgotten so much of what we are. And that's frustrating, because that's not the way it's supposed to be. I can like feel and I can see how things were, and it's just frustrating that that's not the way things are anymore. I'm getting all riled up now. Like, grr. So I don't know. I feel like, okay, so I feel like that's kind of where we're moving towards again. We're trying to move back to the time when human beings were like really holy and really divine beings, and didn't live in hierarchies, didn't really have, does that make sense? I know, it's like there is so much entrenched, and it's like, like all your karma and the weight of your past lives like weighs on you and on this moment. And everything that you think and that you feel today is not just what's around, it's also what you're bringing forth from your past. One of the really good things about the turn of the 2012 to now and onwards is that apparently a lot of the old bonds and karma were cut. So you're not really bound to the old contracts and the old ways of being anymore. And you can just kind of exist and create new things. But the difficult part is in being conscious of what you're creating from your past and what is actually a creation from you from now. That is something that you're going to need to work on. Just speaking from like a spirit guide point of view. Sometimes they kind of like come through and be like things. So definitely your karma and what you're bringing through from your other lives, that has a huge effect on the world today, on the planet today. When we're talking about like we need to get back to a world of light and a world of abundance and a world of peace, it can't happen unless you work through your shadow. And your shadow is all of that unresolved tension and sadness and conflict and struggle from all the other times you've been alive. So many other times you've been alive. You're not new here. You've been here for a while. So it's definitely informing the dream of the planet today and the events that happen on the planet and the creations that happen on the planet. So what is manifested and how it's manifested. A lot of that depends on the karma and the shadow of each individual person, each of all 7 billion of us. But the good part is that even though there's so many people on the planet, that when you work on your own karma and your shadow and working past the blocks that are old stuff from your past lives, when you work through all of that, and then a couple other people work through theirs, and a couple of other people work through theirs. You've heard of the 100th monkey experiment, right? So there's this island in Japan, and some scientists wanted to teach the monkeys that live there. It's a tiny little island, a whole bunch of monkeys. They wanted to teach the monkeys that live there some new techniques for washing off their sweet potatoes. So they were like, here, wash it in the ocean. And they taught it to a few monkeys. So the monkeys, they were like, they'll wash the sweet potatoes in the ocean. It's like, okay, wash your sweet potatoes in the ocean. And sometimes they would teach it to the other monkeys and say, hey, you, wash your sweet potato in the ocean. It's like, it tastes better. There's no sand on it. It's just better. And all the monkeys, like, they would teach the other monkeys very slowly, very, very slowly. So over time, it's like teaching monkeys. And then, apparently, when it got to the 100th monkey that was taught, the scientists started monitoring all the islands that all these little monkeys live on. It's like a couple of like tiny little islands. They suddenly picked up knowledge really quickly. From not washing their sweet potatoes off to suddenly being like, you know what, I think I should wash my sweet potato off. I don't know why, I'm just going to do it. And it happened across all of the islands. So what they think, or what some of the thought behind that is that we're all really connected, super connected. And this is through our energy, right? So even though like you can't see anything, it's just like air, but when you look at the world from like a third eye perspective, there's energetic bonds, like a web that's kind of connecting all of us. So none of us are really separate, which is both amazing and terrifying. Um, but none of us are really separate. We're all connected to each other. So when groups start thinking things in one sort of way and one sort of consciousness, it influences everyone else, even if the other people have never met those people, have no idea who they are. It affects them, just like we affect the earth and the earth is affecting us, and we affect each other. So sometimes the best work you can do is on yourself, just working through your own self and your own struggle and clearing out your own darkness, because when you're able to do that, then somehow you're helping everyone else on the planet to like move through a sort of darkness that they might not have known how to until you found a way to work through yours. So that's all I have. I know it's like so much. It's a little time. But yeah, I'll definitely keep making videos. I got kind of held up for a while with school and everything, but sometimes you just have to reprioritize and like focus and be like, hey, there's other things going on. So thanks for taking the time to watch this video, and I hope you have a really blessed day. And namaste. Aloha.